Welcome, everyone. This is Pam from Your Nurse Advocate Consulting. And tonight we are doing Tuesday tips here in the forum. I just wanted to encourage everyone if you're interested in our forum, it's speaking out on the care of your aging parents. We talk everything about aging parents. And so we have support tips, checklists, guest speakers, everything that you could think about to help you on that journey of caring for your aging parent. So today we are talking about Medicare. That was one of the topics that came up in one of our discussions. So let's dive right in. So what Medicare was designed to be is Medicare was designed to be like a major medical plan. It was not designed to be, an all-inclusive insurance, and that it was just a major medical plan. So with Medicare, when you are turned 65, you can get Medicare. If you're younger than 65, if you've had at least 2 years of disability, you can file and request to receive Social Security, get Medicare. One of the things is that with Medicare, you are subject to deductibles. And what does that mean? So the deductibles are people really don't understand how often you might have to pay a deductible. So for the year 2023, the Medicare deductibles are $1,600. So if you're admitted into the hospital, Medicare A is the part that covers hospitalization. So the first $1,600 of charges in 2023, you will have to pay before Medicare picks up the rest. And so Medicare is paid in episodes. So for example, if your hospital stay lasts more than 60 days, you'll pay like $389 a day this past year, but for 2023 it'll be $400 a day. So if you go into the hospital, say if you go to the hospital on day 1 and you return to the hospital on day 30, and there has not been 60 days of wellness in between you going back to the hospital, you won't have another deductible. But if you go in the hospital and it's 65 days later, you're going to be subject to another deductible. So the Medicare alone by itself is not the end all health insurance, nor was it designed to be. So Part A of Medicare, that covers your hospital, that covers hospice, that covers inpatient stay in the hospital, and home health care that covers. Medicare Part B, so those that have Medicare Part B, that's what pays for your outpatient services, going to the doctor, going to therapy, an observation stay in a hospital. A lot of people don't understand when you go to a hospital, you're either admitted to inpatient, which means the doctor is saying that you're going to be in the hospital more than 2 midnights, or observation, where the doctor feels that you're going to be in the hospital less than 48 hours, less severe of an illness. They anticipating maybe a night or a little bit longer. And that is paid by Medicare Part B. That is an outpatient. So that is so you are subject to 80/20. So 80% they'll pay, 20% is your copay. And if you're in an observation stay at the hospital, Medicare does not cover routine self-administered medications that you receive in the hospital. So any of those medications that you take at home, including insulin, will not be covered under a Medicare observation stay. Now, any IV drugs or any medications that are new, that are used to treat your illness while you're there, those will be covered. So that is Medicare. There's Medicare Part C. Medicare Part C, what that is your Medicare Advantage plans. And then you have Medicare supplement plans. So we'll talk a little bit about both of them. There is no right or wrong answer in which of these to choose. But when you talk to your Medicare advisor, think about, be prepared to know what your lifestyle is. So let's talk a little bit about the Medicare Advantage plan. Now, when Medicare Part A is included in your Medicare, when you reach 65 and Medicare age, Medicare Part B you actually have to pay for. That is taken out. If you're collecting Social Security at the age of 65, when you become Medicare eligible, they will deduct approximately now about $178 a month out of your Social Security check to pay for Medicare Part B. So a lot of people think, well, I already got Part A. I don't need anything else. I don't need Part B. Well, the problem is then Medicare does not cover any of your outpatient services. So the only thing you have with Medicare A is is a major medical plan that's going to cover you if you're an inpatient, more than 2 nights in the hospital stay under Medicare A. So Medicare B covers that outpatient services. And is deducted from your Social Security check. Now, with Medicare Advantage plans actually take all your Medicare dollars from the government, and they manage the amount of money that you've been allotted to your person for Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B. So these are run by insurance companies. And so their incentive to make money is to manage your Medicare money. And sometimes they offer some other perks, but they are usually more strict and not as easy to get the insurance companies to cover things as Medicare does. They are supposed to be following Medicare rules. They don't always do that. There is an initiative out now beginning next January saying that Medicare is going to be holding the Advantage plans more accountable, but you're going to hear many, many horror stories about some Medicare Advantage plans that have denied people care. There's a story out in the news recently in our Wisconsin area who the insurance company denied diagnostic workup for a lady having hip pain, and it went on, and make a long story short, she had bone cancer. By the time they found it, she had to have that hip removed, and she was not able to survive nor get treatment. And it went to court, and the insurance company was within their rights to approve or deny services. So when you're doing your homework for Medicare Advantage plans, you really have to do your homework on those and see, if they're denying many things. Talk to people, find out what kind of experiences they've had. My mom had a bad experience with a Medicare Advantage plan. So what is the good side? What's the plus side of the Advantage plan? Well, you don't have all the deductibles. You're not in those 60-day, episodic routine with Medicare. Medicare supplement, all your Medicare money goes to the insurance company, plus you pay a smaller amount. So say an average of maybe $35 to $75 a month to your Advantage plan, and then you have coverage. So most of the Advantage plans have a set dollar amount for you to be in the hospital. So if it's they may say you pay $250 for every day and you're in the hospital. After 5 days, we're going to cover everything. So every plan is different. When you're dealing with insurance companies, everything can be different. What they cover, what they don't cover. If you're on any special drugs like Xarelto or Eliquis, when you're talking to Advantage plans, or make sure the medicines that you're taking is on their formulary. Otherwise, they're not going to approve it. So a lot of it, this is some of the things that we can help you with your nurse advocate. And we also have other billing analysts, billing specialists, advocates. We have a lot of resources that can help you with your individual situation. But the reason why a lot of people go to Advantage plans is it's less expensive. So let's move on. So one of the things when I talked about lifestyle, one of the things with the Medicare Advantage plans is some of them won't cover you if you travel outside of the country, not even an ER visit. Some of them will cover you internationally if you go into the ER, as well as nationally. The thing with Advantage plans, oftentimes they have an in-network provider. So sometimes if you're a snowbird and you have your primary coverages here in Wisconsin and you go to Arizona, for the winter, you may not be able to get your medications filled out there or see a doctor because you can't have 2 preferred providers. So oftentimes it takes a little finagling, to get 3 months of your medications or however long you're going to stay. And of course, then you want to make sure your Advantage plan covers you if you have to go into urgent care or emergency room, but you'd have to get your medications and all that before you left to whatever warm state you were going to spend the winter at. So those are some of the caveats and some of the nuances of having a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, the third thing that you can have is a Medicare supplement. And what is a Medicare supplement? A Medicare supplement is an insurance policy that you use in conjunction with your Medicare. They normally will pay what Medicare deems is coverable, but they don't pay. So for example, if you're on that observation stay, they pay 80%. Your secondary could pick up the 20%. They will pick up your deductibles for Medicare. It's usually, that is a very good way for coverage. The caveat for the supplement plans is average cost on the supplement plans is about $350 a month, give or take, depending on where you live and the plan that you have. But that may offer the best coverage for you. But some people can't, as a senior on fixed income, some people can't afford those supplemental Medicare plans. So that's where the other option might be to get like a whole management plan of your medicines and your outpatient and your inpatient would be those Medicare Advantage plans. But please do your due diligence. My mom had an example. She was denied a back surgery that she needed for her rheumatoid arthritis. Her mobility was greatly impaired. And the insurance company, the Medicare Advantage plan, decided they were going to deny her surgery because they said it wasn't a Medicare covered surgery. Well, it was. Make a long story short, the company that supplied the discs that they were going to put in her back to raise her vertebrae up that were kind of crushing down on her nerves, they took this insurance company to court, and they lost. The insurance company lost, and I called them to schedule my mom's surgery, and they said, "Oh, we haven't authorized that surgery." I says, "Well, what do you mean you haven't authorized it? Because, you lost in court. The court ordered you to perform this surgery." They said, "Well, we're going to appeal, and that could get hung up in the Medicare appeal board for 6 months or more." So I had no choice. As much as I wanted to fight for that insurance company to pay for my mom's surgery, I didn't want my mom to suffer. So fortunately, we were just within a month or two of open enrollment, which is usually sometime in October till the beginning of December, where you can change plans, your Medicare Advantage plans, or change, from straight Medicare to Advantage or go back to Medicare. So that's what they call open enrollment. That happens once a year. So we were close to that period. So I was able to get my mom a new Advantage plan because she could not afford a Medicare supplement plan. So she wanted to stick with the Medicare Advantage plan route. So we found her a new Advantage plan, and within a few months she had her surgery. So that's how all of these insurance companies can be different. Just because they say Medicare Advantage plan doesn't mean they're going to treat you the same way as Medicare does, which they're supposed to, but oftentimes they do not. So we're looking for, those of us in the healthcare field are looking forward to these Advantage plans being held accountable to follow the Medicare guidelines. So those are the three different kind of discussions on the three ways that you have Medicare. Again, if you have straight Medicare, you want to look at a drug plan because Medicare A or Medicare B does not come with coverage for medications. So that's where you'd have to talk to your insurance advisor, your Medicare advisor, and to see which drug plan might be best for you, depending on if you take routine medications, if you don't, if you're taking some expensive medicines. Like I said, those drug thinners, Eliquis or Xarelto. Again, the thing when you're dealing with insurance companies is if that medication is available to them. So I didn't see any other questions come up. This is usually a hot topic, so I'm hoping maybe after some of you watch this for the replay in our community forum, I'm hoping that it will strike up some questions. Be very happy to answer them in the chat. And remember, this is a private Facebook group. So everyone that comes in has to recognize that this is private. So we want everyone to maintain privacy for all of us that may be sharing. You can always send me a message and say, "Hey, Pam, please reach out to me privately via Messenger," or, just go to our website, yournurseadvocateconsulting.com. You can email us, phone us. I mean, there's all kinds of contact information, but I look forward to answering your questions. If you see any more, just drop them in the comment with this video and we'll get your questions answered for you. All right, we'll see you next Tuesday for more Tuesday tips. Take care.